All right, good morning, everyone. It's Albert Kaufman, and I'm going to be talking to you today about the foundations of online marketing. If you have questions during my presentation, feel free to put them in the chat, and I will read through them sometimes as we go and sometimes as we finish. So, and you can tell, I'm recording today. I'm also going to put some information in the chat right now that you are welcome to act on at any point. Just a couple of links for your use, how to get on my newsletter and how to get a discounted version of Constant Contact, which is folks who are bringing me here today. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We'll just roll right into the presentation. And again, if you have questions as we go, feel free to put them in the chat or just go ahead and unmute yourself and ask them. So today, we're going to talk about digital marketing, which is basically like your whole online presence and what that means. We all have some ideas about this, and this presentation will give you kind of a foundation of what that's all about. So, we know that to find businesses, we all tend to search. Other people are searching as well. And so if you are out there and findable, then people can come find you and do business with you. Many online businesses, small businesses, do generate a lot of their income from online sales, and being available and visible out there is key to that. Many businesses don't have a website, and I think, what does a website really mean these days? We think about a website like, oh, you have your URL and you have your domain. But actually, an archived link of a Constant Contact newsletter counts as a website. If it sits out there and people can come find it, or your Google My Business site counts as a website. All right, someone has asked a question. You're welcome to take notes, but I am also recording. No worries, Sarah. So again, what is a website? A website is something that's out on the web. And so your business could be running off of Instagram. Your business could be running off of Facebook. If you want to have a website and go down that road, I do. I think it's valuable. I think it does give people a sense of the fact that you exist, but it's not absolutely necessary. So here are some reasons why small businesses that are out there are not selling online, and you can read through that. And I think there's some relevance there. These are some what am I thinking? This is survey results from folks who are small businesses. So today we're going to be talking about foundations of online marketing, and this is part of a longer series of webinars that I'll be doing throughout the year. So today is number 1. Here's a little bit of what we'll cover today. There's about 50 slides, and I'm going to kind of roll right through them. So right for the beginning, we're going to start about how people find you online. I'm Albert Kaufman. I've been teaching digital marketing online for about 15 years, and also in person. I sometimes teach classes, in person, and haven't done one in a while, but for years I was doing that. And so I have an idea of how some of this stuff works, and I'm happy to be reached out to. There's my email address. If you have further questions after we're done, I'd be happy to discuss with you further. So how people find you online. How do you get the most business today? Well, relationships. People who know you are going to do business with you. Then you get to know people by interacting with them. Actually, interesting story, interesting to me, hopefully to you, is that yesterday I took a walk down my local business district, which is on Hawthorne Avenue in Portland, Oregon. And I walked into probably about 10 different businesses. and I'm organizing an activity for people, kind of like a group tour type of thing, to go down this particular business district street. It's going to have like a little bit of a few different aspects to it, kind of a scavenger hunt type thing, but also a chance for people who are on the tour to get to know each other. And I had a blast. I just walked into different businesses, talked to people, bought a few things, just checked it out. I'm also looking for what's the best time of day for something like this. And I'll tell you, Tuesday morning, Tuesday early afternoon, businesses are quiet, at least around here. So, and especially in January. So here are some ways that word of mouth happens online, and that's through reviews and people, posting about their experiences. I did a little bit of that yesterday as well. And when people go looking for your business, what do they find? That's a really good question. That said, it's interesting. This slideshow was created, I think, last October, and yet what's going to happen with Google in the next little while is not really well reflected on here, because they're going to start using AI to give you a summary for your search results. So instead of seeing ads and organic results, you're actually going to start seeing more AI created summaries of what Google's AI thinks you were looking for. So all of this work that we've been doing to kind of get ourselves listed on Google and et cetera is not necessarily going to be this type of information that we're seeing right here. For those who have just joined us, welcome. And right now we're talking about ways that you can be found online. And, right now we're basically looking at a Google search and what it pulls up, all sorts of different reviews and social media sites and Wikipedia. And in fact, if you're not online, of course, prospects can't find you. This is true. So yeah, it's important to be online. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, about different places you can be. But here's, sort of the Google version of what types of results can happen. If you look for your competitors, or you look for everything that's like that you are related to. So let's say your cheese shop, you'll see this type of thing. And this is a valuable thing to do, is to look for both your own name on Google, but also to look for just the business that you're in and see what happens. That will give you some information about your milieu. So when you click through and you're just looking for competitors and your industry, you can see what comes out. And you can also click through and see, what the actual results are, and, what are your competitors up to. Now we're looking at eyeglasses. And then, it's important when people are leaving reviews for you and people are mentioning you online. It's a good idea to be tracking that, and so you can be responding quickly and effectively. If you ignore this kind of thing, that's to your detriment, because people think, oh, you're out there on social media, or you're out there as Google My Business, but you're not actually being responsive. And people expect that these days. An interesting story yesterday, actually. For some reason, I was going into I have a few different email addresses, and I was looking for, how sometimes you sign up for something and then it says, oh, we're going to send you a activation link. And so I went to go look for that. And I actually ended up in a email account that I don't even know how it possibly even exists. But therein found an email that had been addressed to me a couple of months ago that was actually kind of important. I have no idea how this person was able to send an email to this particular email inbox, but they did. And so it makes sense to also go looking around for your for communication. And so, for instance, for every digital space that you're in, each one of those probably has an inbox. Like LinkedIn, you have Messenger there, Instagram, you can get messages there. Everything has a way for someone to contact you directly. And so every once in a while, it really makes sense to go into each of these properties, platforms, and take a look and see if anyone has written to you or if anyone has reviewed you or this type of thing. And so you can be responsive. So yeah, you want to be found when people go looking. Make it easy for people to spread the word about you. So if you have an Instagram site and you're posting fun things, people can share those. And then also, as we just talked about, being able to provide information back. How to set yourself up for success. We talked about, having a website, making sure it's mobile responsive. We're going to see some more information about that in a second. Making sure you have an email marketing tool. I talk about that a lot. Most of my classes are about email marketing. I think that's pretty much the main thing that I would get people started with, especially as social media keeps changing. I just saw Mark Zuckerberg do a thing yesterday about Facebook where he's talking about taking the guardrails off. And so, if you've been watching what's been happening with Twitter, there's some chance that that's kind of thing is going to start happening with Facebook too. So email marketing, you own the data, the email list is yours. I can't say it enough that is the main thing that people should be doing. And then, do pick a primary social channel, maybe Blue Sky. That's a new one that's coming up. That looks interesting. I just joined that the other day. Making sure your business listings are accurate and then having an easy way to create content. So your mobile responsive website, I'm sure you're familiar with this, but if your site is not mobile responsive, oftentimes it's just a quick click in the back end to make sure that it is. And if it needs more for you to do that, you might want to do that because something like 50% of people, maybe more, it sort of depends on the generation, I think, are going to see your site on a phone versus on a laptop or a desktop. So collecting email addresses so you can contact them later, totally key. Why? Because when someone comes to your website, they come there for 5 seconds and then they're likely never going to come back again. So they're partly just checking social proof to see, if you're a real business, if you mean business. And this really tells them that you mean business. Having a pop-up that collects their email address is a great way to then have them really at your fingertips. You're able to reach them every day if you want to. If you're a bakery and you sell croissants and you want people to know every day that you've got fresh croissants, you can be writing them frequently. So I would say this slide more than anything is, a key slide. In fact, it's so important. I'm going to screenshot it because I want to share this in my after the session summary. So this is a welcome series that will come out. Yeah, look like this. You got email 1, email 2, and this is how it works. Once you've signed somebody up, this is the first email that they get. Maybe they get a second email. Maybe they get a series. It could be an email series of 10. I've got a few different email series that go on for a while that kind of keep people reminded of what I do, but also, tell them something important. So you want to definitely be sending email at least once a month. That's kind of the minimum. You can be sending more than that. You want to tell people how often you're going to be sending and give them a heads up about that. Excuse me. Social media, definitely a good idea to claim your name on all different channels, picking one for primary use, and driving people to your website. In fact, I recommend that be the main link in your bio for social media is an email list sign up. That's what happens on all of my social media. Okay, this is a little quiz about connecting different comments here with different social media sites. I think it's pretty obvious, but this is YouTube, Pinterest. I use Blue Sky for this now. Friends and family, Facebook, LinkedIn, highly visual, Instagram. But, even though this is what this says, I tend to use Facebook a lot for sharing my business things, particularly via my Facebook pages, and also in groups that I either run or am part of. And then I also do a lot of posting on LinkedIn, but also on Alignable, which some of you may be familiar with. So different approaches for different social media platforms. Yeah, so here's a call to not waste time on social, but instead be supporting your business. I'm sure we all have time that we're spending on social doing, a little bit of both. I think it's really hard not to suddenly get sucked into Instagram and start watching, fun videos, or Facebook or wherever you're on. But, this is just some encouragement to keep it serious or keep it professional. And again, you want to, on these different sites, also be accepting reviews and be paying attention to reviews. When someone reviews you, you can thank them or give them a little bit of response back, especially if it's negative, tell them to come on in for a free croissant or whatever it is. So this is a call to create a blog. I do have a blog and people do come, and I do think that people like fresh content. You can also use the content from a blog, repurpose it all over the place. You can put it in your newsletter, you can post it on LinkedIn, etc. And it's working when things start happening. People start responding, or people give you a review, or they join your email list, or they, all sorts of different ways you can tell that what you're doing is working. And if it's not working, it's very quiet. And so it's January right now. So, things do tend to be quieter in the small business world. But if you do some of the things that we're talking about today, and you start rolling down the hill with some of these approaches, stuff should start happening. So these are all ways that we just talked about. One of the things we didn't really talk about is easy way to create content. I guess that's the blog. But really any of these platforms that we just mentioned are easy ways to create content. Here's a little bit of information about paying for ads. Personally, I've had not great results with using paid advertising. Right now, my brother is doing some advertising for a website called March Merch that he's selling t-shirts on. And though he gets a lot of engagement, it hasn't necessarily led to a lot of sales. And so that's kind of what he's in it for. But I think it depends on where you are and what you're offering, how well Facebook advertising or Google Ads will work for you. I definitely think it's worth checking out too, just to go down the rabbit hole of seeing what kinds of demographics you can reach. And for some companies, this is going to be very valuable. And for others, you'll find out quickly, if you spend $10 and nothing happens at all, you'll have had the experience of seeing what's under the hood. I do think that's a valuable thing. It's interesting to see that you can target zip codes, age, whether a person owns a house or not, etc. So we've been talking about, how to be useful to your customers and, what the process is. And this sort of is a nice little summary of that and how it all comes together. You want to have like a thought about what the experience, what the experience is like. You're creating a nice experience, you're enticing them to engage, then you connect with them, you increase your exposure and have more visibility, and then you just repeat. This is kind of a figure 8, although I think I'm doing the circles wrong. But anyway, this is a nice way to think about the customer experience and the roadmap of it. You might want to screenshot that. I'll give you a second. to do that if you'd like to. Okay, so we've talked about the mobile website, capturing email addresses, using email marketing, getting involved in social media, maybe picking one site, making sure people are leaving reviews. You can also ask people via your newsletter, for instance, for your customers to leave reviews, creating some helpful content, perhaps diving into some paid advertising. And here's a little offer from me. If you'd like to sign up for a trial of Constant Contact, you can do a lot of the things that we talked about today via one account. You can use this for social media. You can use this for your newsletter. You can create pop-ups for your website, all sorts of good stuff. So that's it from me. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today. And I am going to go ahead and open up the floor for a Q&A. If you'd like to get in touch, there's my email address. And I look forward to discussing this more with you.